Dr. North, first of all, thank you very much for your willingness to give this interview specifically for Bulgarian Christians who would like to know more about what Christianity says about every area of life. Now, as you know, Bulgaria has been a nation thoroughly atheistic for the last 40 or 50 years. And before that, we had only the Eastern Orthodox Church, which is not exactly worldview oriented the way we are, but we know that the Reformed message is worldview oriented. Now, first of all, here's my question to you. What is the significance of the Reformation from the eyes of somebody like you? He is the intellectual heir, an intellectual heir of the Reformation. What is the significance of the Reformation to our societies today, whether in the East or in the West or anywhere else in the world?
Western Christianity has always been more judicial than Eastern Christianity. That was true of Catholicism in relationship to Eastern Orthodoxy. So that the Protestant Reformation grew out of a longer tradition in which the issues of law were paramount for the society. There was, of course, the mixture of Aristotelian logic and Roman law, which was essentially secular, which was brought in beginning in the 11th and 12th century into the West. So there was always a dualism between what we would call biblical law and Roman imported law. But at least the focus was on how do you use law to construct a society and to build social order. The Protestant Reformation extended that position, but it added the issue of salvation by grace, that you don't work your way into salvation, that grace through Jesus Christ is a gift, but at the same time society still has to have a legal order. So there's still a dualism in the West between whether you go to biblical law or whether you go to other forms of rational law. But the West is a legally oriented society, so the battle for the West is not simply a battle over grace, over the basis of how a man is converted. It is also over what kind of legal order does he use to straighten out his own life and then to move from his own life to the community around him. That has been a Protestant tradition. Some traditions are more mystical, but mostly Protestantism has had the idea that you really do need to affect the society that you're in, that it should reflect some kind of a Christian outlook. And because of that, the debate still goes on as to what kind of legal order should come out of a Protestant worldview that would enable Protestants to have an effect in society. Also, there is the division of labor. Within Catholicism, you have many rival views, and they're held together by the power of the Pope and the hierarchy. In Protestantism, you don't have one. You have no central hierarchy. So there tends to be division, and I call it precision through division. And different groups have certain perspectives, certain goals. They appeal to certain kinds of economic groups in the society. They appeal to a certain national group in the society. Each denomination has its own particular, what we would call angle, its own particular specialty that it contributes to the society as a whole. If you want to talk about it, think of the various kinds of food, national traditions that you have. Chinese food, Mexican food, whatever kind of food, it's all food, different taste, different tradition, different way of selling it, different marketing. If you look at Christianity in that respect, I think the whole of Christianity, the capital C church, the Church of Jesus Christ, appeals to all people, all nations, all groups, all economic organizations. Everybody has his needs met, but it won't be done by one overarching hierarchical organization. And Protestantism is committed to the idea of the division of labor, especially in evangelism.